Now this part which I'm going to discuss, this is not something that you will get as a question in your paper. But let's go through it for you to have an idea from where everything started, right? So most of the scholars, right, believe that Hinduism started somewhere in between 2300 BC and 1500 BC in the Indus Valley civilization, okay, which is now the Pakistan. Some scholars believe that, but others, they argue that faith, or you call it religion or faith, it is timeless and it has always existed, right? For me personally, I believe religion has always existed, because if God always exists, so religion in terms of the dharma must always be here, right? So it depends on thoughts, on perception. And as you know, Hinduism has no one founder, no founder as such of Hinduism, whereas other religions, we do have a founder, okay? Now, again, I'll tell you, this is not for exam purpose, mais comprend the chronology here for you to understand how things developed in Hinduism, right? So we have the pre-Vedic time, or the pre-Vedic period, which is assumed to be before the 2000 BC. And then we have the Vedic period, we have the epic age, or we can call that the Puranic age also. Then comes the medieval age, the pre-modern age or period of India, the British period when British was there, and then the independent India, okay? So in different time period, there have been different major deities whom people were worshipping. Sanatan Dharma was there. It was not called Hinduism previously. Sanatan Dharma was used for that. So Sanatan Dharma was there, but practices were different, right? In this time period. Now, in the Indus Valley civilization, before the 2000 BC, there were majorly two cities, which was the Mohenjo-daro and the Harappa. Okay, from there we got many proofs, evidence that there has been the worship of certain deities since long, ou bien during their time period, during the time period of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. Okay, there have been the evidences of ritual bathing, which they were doing. I don't know if you have seen the Mohenjo-daro movie. This is exactly how it was. They were praying the Ganga, the water. So, and also they were doing animal sacrifice. They got evidence of that they were performing animal sacrifice. How they got the evidence? Say by the seals, maybe it was depicted somewhere, right? And we also had images of goddess there and of Lord Shiv, right? Which definitely means that Sanatan Dharma was being practiced since long, right? So this is the pre-Vedic time. Then in the Vedic time, what happened when there has been the migration of the Aryans in India? Here Vedas got prominent. Vedas got popular here. And when Vedas get popular means the way of worship, the mode of worship was fire sacrifice. Here it's not the animal sacrifice. No, in the Vedas, it's not about an animal sacrifice. It is about the fire sacrifice, where we offer different items to the Lord, such as butter, wood, and all, right? So this is the Vedic period where the Vedas became prominent. Then we have the epic age, where you have the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, the Puran, and also the time of Buddha comes here, where we had the Dharma Sutra from the Buddhist and the Shastra. And Sinuna Mahabharata means we have Bhagavad Gita as well, right? And Dharma, people started learning about Dharma, following Dharma based on what was written in the Dharma Sutra, right? And there was Vedic sacrifices, and they started the devotional worship of images or murtis started from there. In the period of Vedic period, we don't have the worship of murtis, no. So it started here in the epic age. How it started, I guess last time I told you about the Alvars, right? The Alvars had a great hand in that, in developing the Bhakti movement, right? We had the Gupta Empire. When Gupta, they were great kings, great rulers of India. They had a great hand, they propagated the tradition of Vaishnavism, or the worship of Vishnu, as well as Shiv and Shakti, right? Then we come in the medieval age, where there was the rise of Bhakti. La twin commence ici, là, no? Then there was the total rise of Bhakti here, where the major deities were Vishnu, Shiva, and Devi. That is Shakti or Durga, right? Then there was also the building of temples. Temples for one specific deity. Nunuban temple à Maurice n'est pas for one specific deity. You will have Ganesh, you will have Shiv, you will have others, but you will see major temples in India. It was meant for one deity. For example, you have the Jagannath for Lord Vishnu's form, Jagannath. You have Shiv temple in Chidambara. You have the Shiv temple in Tanjavur. I mean, other places as well, right? Other temples. And here, the religious literature in Sanskrit were being developed. Sanskrit, the Vedas were already there. But now, those people connected to the Bhakti movement, they were propagating those teachings in Sanskrit or in other languages, where we have the 12 Alvars, or you call that the 12 Vaishnav Alvars. Later, I'll send you their names, the 12 of them, right? Among whom there was a woman, right? It is from a country, from a place where women were considered inferior. But among the 12 Alvars who propagated the Bhakti movement, we have one woman, right? Which was really a major achievement in that direction. And then we have the acharyas, or the gurus, or the swamis. Il y a aussi ban sant qui après in développé in Bini, right? They had their own teachings, their own theologies, based on scriptures. They did their own commentaries, which for example, we still have today, like Sri Adi Shankaracharya. Many of us, we read his commentaries, maybe about the Upanishads, about the Vedas, right? About the Bhakti movement, about the Bhagavad Gita. Then we have the pre-modern age, c'est avant the modern age, avant l'indépendance of India. The pre-modern age where there was the rise of Islam in the north, especially in the north of India, right? Majority of the Muslims were in the north. Okay. And you know, there was also the problem of conversion by that time. So here I told you the 12 Arvas who were in the south of India, they started the Bhakti movement in the south, and slowly it propagated to the north of India, right? To the north of India, where we had Mirabai, we have Tukaram, Surdas, Tulsidas, Dadu. These were great people, great saints, we must say, who propagated the Bhakti movement there. We also had the Sant tradition in the north, mainly in Maharashtra and Punjab, the Sant tradition, where they were worshipping God in the Nirgun and the Sagun aspect as well, right? Then came the British period. You know, the British was there, but British did not much intervene in the practice of Sanatan Dharma. Okay, did not much intervene. And here there was most of the rise of most of the reformers. Reformers already came since pre-modern age. Even before that, we have reformers. But the major reforms we talk about for the Indian society came from the British period. And then we have the independent India, which is now today. But it was, you know, there was bloodshed, people died. And they are still discussing that, is it a country of the Hindus, of, you know, it's all of a discussion. So whatever I have just mentioned to you here, again, it's not part of your syllabus, but make sure you understand at which period things happened. Okay, because, you know, when you talk about the tradition, the theistic traditions, les panvinis is comme ça, par hasard, no? By coincidence, it was not like that. So let's start with the sects of Hinduism. So Hinduism is majorly divided into 4 sects, which are the Shaivism, those who follow Shiv, Vaishnavism, those who follow Vishnu. When we say Vishnu, it can be any form of Vishnu, Jagannath, Venkateshwar, Ram, Krishna, any form. Shaktism, followers of Devi, this also can be any form of Devi, but majorities don't consider Lakshmi, Sri Lakshmi, Durga, Kali as well. But we have other forms also, you can't deny that. Then we have the Smarta. Smarta say those who followed the Brahman and all the major deities, right? Now, I've told you before that the word Hindu was not being used. Actually, it was not called Hinduism. It was called Sanatan Dharma. But then the word Hinduism was coined by the Europeans, which came into use. And even now, the Indians, they use the word. Okay, but slowly, if you see the tendency where we are going now, not be revert to Sanatan Dharma. Okay, why was the word Hinduism used? C'est ban British in service pour cette facilité, right? Pour cette facilité in terms of communication to some. Now, if we talk about Hinduism, Hinduism is vast, is diverse, right? I guess I told you that even an atheist can be part of the Hinduism or the Sanatan Dharma. We have that system in Hinduism, even an atheist, because if we come to define atheist and atheist, atheist can be someone who does not believe in God. Atheist can be someone who does not believe in scriptures, right? But what if he believes in doing good karma? Nous peut appeler un atheiste parce qu'il n'est pas pray God. He's not going to temple. He's not reading scriptures. But he likes helping people. Should the person still be considered atheist? A big question mark here, right? So my point of view, you may have yours. My point of view is if the person does not pray a particular Lord or does not go to temple, but does good karma, helps people selflessly, he is atheist. He can't be considered atheist, right? This is my perception. If you have yours, if you say that, si li pa go to temple, même li pe eden dimon, li still an atheist, that can be your version as well. Okay, remember that. So the main factors of this here in Hinduism is freedom. Each of us as a Hindu, as a Sanatani or Hindu, let's use the word Hindu plutôt. We have freedom of choice. You choose any path you want. No one can impose on you. Hinduism does not insist that you have to follow this path A, do not follow path B. Yes, Lipujao, do not follow the wrong path. Sally obvious. But it will not tell you that path A is when you worship Krishna, path B is when you are worshipping Shiv. So you don't choose Krishna, you choose Shiv. No. This is up to the person about his likings, about what he desires, no, about his connection with the Lord. So this is one great thing Hinduism has given us, is this freedom. Nothing can be imposed, right? So it's all about the person, about the karma, about the state of mind, right? And also Hinduism is not guided by one scripture only. Yes, we have the main one, the Vedas, but with time we got the Ramayana and all. Si mo pas suivre Vedas, mo suivre Ramayana, but it's still good enough, right? So let's start with Vaishnavism, right? Vaishnavism, as you know, say those who pray Vishnu. It is a sect, it is a cult where people, the group of people here, they pray Vishnu. And that can be any form of Vishnu. It is also called Vishnuism, and also called Vaishnav Dharma. Mais plutôt, on s'appelle souvent Vishnuism, right? Vaishnav Dharma. And here the main deity, of course, is Vishnu, or any form of Vishnu, together with their consorts, if they have the consorts. And here in this tradition, other deities are classified as demigods. For them, the major deity is Vishnu. No one else is major. Shiv is not major for them. But they do not deny the existence of Shiv, and they considered Shiv and others as demigods. We can't say they are in the wrong path because they love Vishnu. If I'm a Shiv, I'll consider Shiv as the main deity, and other maybe I consider them as demigods, let's say, right? So no one is wrong. So according to Schweg, it is a polymorphic monotheism. Okay, what does that mean, polymorphic? Well, it is a theology that recognizes many forms of one. There is only one, but many forms, right? You can quote that. If you're quoting it, Ipanese will écrire tout d'état, you can write till here, no? Polymorphic monotheism. So, in Vaishnavism, the main forms of Vishnu which people have prayed and is praying is the form of Ranganath, Venkateshwar, and Ram, Krishna. Especially Krishna is very famous. Bien sûr, thanks to ISKCON, plutôt. Right? So, in the 12th century onwards, there has been a Bhakti renaissance and renaissance of Bhakti. Why was that important? Because, there's always a time like this where people, they detach themselves from their culture, from their tradition, and we have to revive, to reinstall the values. So this is eventually what was happening. So there was the Bhakti Renaissance across India. And there had been many centers of devotional work, of spirituality. For example, you have the Ayodhya, you have the Vrindavan, right? You can add also what we have today, built the Ayodhya temple. This is a plus point in this topic, right? Now, in Bhakti, the Bhakti traditions, they broke all the barriers, the caste, age, sex barrier. Pas seulement caste, but age and sex also. There are no barriers at all. After the Vedic period, Vedas were prominent at that time. After Vedic period, nous commence qu'un problème là, that Brahmins started consider themselves to be superior, others being inferior. The caste system became a problem. Women cannot do worship. So many things were there. But with the Bhakti Renaissance, with the Bhakti movement, they broke all these barriers, right? Even women, we have women, for example, Andal was one of the women of the Alvars. I told you the Alvars. Andal was there. And we have also the Mirabai, right? We have also in Ramayan, the old woman, Shabri, Shabri. And Vaishnav remain the largest Hindu community now, currently. It is the largest community being practiced by Hindus, right? The second comes the Shaivism. Now, the Vaishnav, what is there? They follow the scriptures, they believe in Vedas, no doubt. Okay, Pavijek is it follow Vishnu. They don't believe in Vedas. No, they do believe in that. They believe in the Bhagavad Puran, in the Mahabharata, in the Bhagavad Gita and all. And they also follow Sabutla living après, but I'm just telling you. They also follow books, commentaries written by great gurus. For example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, no? They have written books. So they consider those books also being sacred. The foundation of this book is definitely the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita. They are not going to invent things and write there. No? The foundation is still the Vedas, the Upanishads, and others, right? So the Vaishnav, what are their central beliefs? Premièrement, c'est devotion. Okay, devotion leading to God and reincarnation. They believe strongly in reincarnation, in samsara. Remember samsara being the cycle of birth and death. C'est pour ça they have to do devotion so as not to be stuck in the cycle of birth and death. And they believe in doing the good karmas. Their good karmas goes in helping and also service. They do a lot of service. Service to whom? Service to people, those who are needy. Service to their gurus. Ça, c'est une affaire qui ne peut pas rater du tout. And service to Lord Krishna. Maybe you have seen those who are in the ISKCON, if you know some people, le matin Zopule Bunea, they will do Abhishek of the Murti of Krishna, which the Bal Gopal, which they have. They will dress the Murti, the Krishna, they will feed the Krishna. No? So this is service to the Lord, a time dedicated to the Lord. This is worship, this is devotion, right? Now, the Advaita Vedanta, for them, those who follow the Advaita Vedanta principle, for them, the goal is liberation through union with God. Libération. Union with God, veut dire the Atma will come out of the body, will merge in the Supreme Soul, which will indeed happen. Vous êtes tout pour arriver ça, no doubt. But the Vaishnav, their aim is not that. Vous n'êtes pas visé à cette liberation through the union. Pour eux, ce qu'ils êtes visé, c'est to live a life of bliss, ananda. If we have a life of bliss, of ananda, will mean, remember the Satchit Anand, right? It will mean that I'm a detached person. Parce que ananda, tant que nous dans attachment, we won't get ananda. You can get temporary ananda for one second, you feel anand, but then we'll return to the world of Maya, the material world. So when we are totally in anand, that connection, will definitely be detached. And after that, when we die, we'll merge with the Supreme. Okay, donc vous n'êtes pas visé à merging with the Supreme. It will happen when it has to. But for them, the ananda in service to God is more essential. En d'autres mots, c'est quoi? The ananda in service to God, it is bhakti. For them, bhakti in any form, service to God, service to Guru, right? This is their aim, right? And the Vaishnav believe that a guru is very important. We need to have a guru in life, and the guru should initiate us. Without initiation, you can't be a Vaishnav. The guru will initiate us, give us diksha, means initiation, and we learn under the guidance of the guru. The guru will give a specific mantra, and this will be the way of worshipping. Okay. Now, in the Bhagavad Gita, this process has been explained by Krishna. I read this part. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Krishna is saying we need to have a guru. Inquire from him submissively, devotion, determination, and render service to him. Puisque he is the guru, the person is the guru, we have to render service to him. Parce que thanks to the guru, we are knowing the Supreme. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. They are the gurus, they can give you the knowledge because they have themselves seen the truth, right? And here in the Padma Puran, there is the mention here, one who is initiated in the Vaishnav mantra, means Lian Vaishnav, who is devoted to the worship of Vishnu, right, is a Vaishnav. One who is devoid of these practices is not a Vaishnav. Ça veut dire qu'il besoin initiated, il besoin in Vaishnav mantra, and il besoin for devotion. Then he will be a Vaishnav, right? So this, I guess I told you the scriptures. Now, a Vaishnav is a Vishnu devotee. What are the qualities now of a true Vaishnav? Okay, the qualities of a true Vaishnav. This is found in the Padma Puran. This is too long to read. I'll just tell you a few in them from this. For example, the one who is without lust and anger is a Vaishnav. The one who is free from harm, hypocrisy, greed, folly is a Vaishnav. The one who is not jealous, the one who is kind, etc., etc., is a Vaishnav. You can go through it. Mon prend tout mon côté parce que when I was reading it, I felt they were important, right? And also one important thing, they wear the Tulsi garland when they get initiated. So you can go through it. Bon, pas besoin d'écrire tout ça là pour l'examen. You can just write few of them. 3-4 ou écrire the qualities of a Vaishnav. That is fine, right? Now, Vaishnavism is based on Vedas, as I told you, the Purana, the Epic, the Upanishads. Now, Vaishnavism has Sampradaya. Sampradaya is about lineage, right? Now, all the lineage we are going to discuss, the Sampradaya we are going to discuss, n'est pas important qu'on connaisse tout en détail. Ça veut dire qu'il n'est pas important qu'on explique what is Lakshmi Sampradaya. Roughly, you know it, that is fine. The details are not expected from you. But yes, you must know that there are Sampradaya. On appelle ça sub-schools, or you call that lineage, right? And we have another new one, which is from the ISKCON of Sri Prabhupada, right? We'll discuss all. So we have 4 major Sampradaya. I call that major Sampradaya. First is Lakshmi Sampradaya. In this Sampradaya, we also known as Shri. Shri is a name for Lakshmi. Shri means auspicious. In this lineage, in this Sampradaya, they worship Lakshmi as well. Pas seulement Vishnu. Lakshmi as well, because Lakshmi serves as the mediator. It's like you please Lakshmi, and then Vishnu will be pleased with you, right? So this is about the Lakshmi Sampradaya. Then you have the Rudra Sampradaya. Rudra is the name of Shiv. It is said that the Hindu deity Shiv, known as Rudra, who passed on the knowledge imparted to him by Vishnu to mankind. Ça veut dire Vishnu si donne Shiv knowledge in donne sa mankind, in donne sa people. Right. So that's why it is called the Rudra Sampradaya, right? And we have the Brahma Sampradaya. It was founded by Madhvacharya. N'est pas aussi important de connaître qui ça n'a found that, okay? Just know briefly the Sampradaya. So their goal here, Brahma Sampradaya, is based on their teachings are majorly based on the Bhagavad Puran. And their aim here should not be union with the divine, but participation in the divine. Just like I told you, the devotion aspect is more important. The service aspect is more important, right? Then you have the Sanakadi Sampradaya, where here their main concept, their main theory is surrender. We surrender completely to God. Atma Nivedana, we surrender completely to God, which is the first step toward rectifying one's relationship with God. This is the first step according to them. We surrender, right? It's difficult to surrender. Then, ça c'est 4 major Sampradaya. Now, when we had the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, then came the Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Gaudiya Vaishnavism, it was referring to the geographical region of Gaud Desh. You know, the Gaudiya, it is from Gaud Desh, which is now called Bangladesh. It started from there. Okay, is another important part of the Bhagavad branch set up by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Bengal. Okay, Akosli from Bangladesh, which was known as God. C'est pour ça qu'il y a le nom Gaudiya Vaishnavism. And it was founded by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Here, their main thing is love God. How? By doing Sankirtana. Usually they do public dancing, chanting, singing, and talking, delivering messages, right? And here their philosophy is definitely based, philosophy based on Vedas, Upanishad, the Bhagavad, right? And the incarnation which they worship is Krishna, definitely. Now the Swami Prabhupada expanded this tradition beyond India, which is who was a member of the Gaudiya lineage, and he is the founder of the ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, right? So he went to New York in 1965. He was 69 at that age. And in New York, he founded the first ISKCON center. Strangely enough, it is not in India, right? In New York, where they were singing the holy name, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. And then there were numerous centers of ISKCON in North America and Europe as well. Then they returned to India. Swami Prabhupada returned to India with the Europeans with him, Suban disciples. And here they propagated ISKCON. They started the ISKCON. And they had major centers in Mumbai and Vrindavan. And the international headquarters is in Mayapur of ISKCON, right? This is further reading on the Vaishnavism, which you go through it, where it talks about the caste system. The point here is, if you're a Vaishnav welcomes everyone, even the person is from the lowest caste possible, right? Because in devotion, we have seen the example of Shabri, which, Ram ate the fruit, the leftover of Shabri. So that is not important for God. Which is important is the devotion. Apata, there's nothing more important for him, for God, right? So this is majorly Vaishnavism.